There's nobody else like Dimebag Darrell, and that's not just his guitar playing. He lit up a room, and if he didn't light up a room, there was something wrong. He was physically sick. He was ill.
Just one of the nicest guys. I mean, really sweet guy. I have one specific memory of hanging out with him at the opening of the Hard Rock in Orlando, and just a great night. He and myself and Zach Wilde and Nikki Sixx and Duff and a bunch of different guys, and all just hanging out and having a great time. And he was just really cool. But he was a phenomenal guitar player, too. And back then I didn't even know who he was. He was just cool. I didn't know much about Pantera, but later on, he's had this a great tone and a great original style, and wrote very unique kind of riffs and whatnot. So, he was one of the best new guitar players that came out over a long period of time.
Vincent Paul Abbott, known universally as Dimebag Darrell, began his musical journey not in a vacuum, but steeped in the sounds that would shape his own groundbreaking style. Even before he forged the legendary riffs of Pantera, the nascent guitarist was a sponge, absorbing the licks and tones of those who came before him. His early fascination with the guitar wasn't just about mastering the instrument, it was about connecting with the music that moved him, and that meant revering the players who created it. From his childhood home in Arlington, Texas, where his father, Jerry Abbott, ran a recording studio, young Darrell was exposed to a vast array of music, but it was the electrifying sounds of rock and roll and heavy metal that truly captivated him. This early immersion meant that his first guitar heroes were often the flamboyant, larger-than-life figures who dominated the music scene in the 1970s and early 1980s. They were the ones whose posters adorned his walls and whose records spun endlessly on his turntable. The formative period of listening and learning for young Dimebag Darrell saw him gravitate heavily towards the theatricality and hard-rocking simplicity of Kiss, and specifically their lead guitarist, Ace Frehley. Ace, known as the Spaceman, was more than just a musician. He was an icon, a character, and his straight-ahead, blues-infused rock and roll guitar style left an indelible mark on Dimebag's developing sensibility. For a young, aspiring guitarist, Ace Frehley embodied the essence of rock star cool and accessible yet powerful guitar playing. Dimebag frequently cited Ace Frehley as his absolute first and most significant guitar hero. In numerous interviews throughout his career, he would speak with almost childlike reverence about Frehley.
Well, I mean, I see a guitar down there that's got a bunch of cherry bombs in it. What the hell is that?
Well, I don't have the actual Ace Frehley smoking guitar, so I had to fake it. And I guess I got this thing with fireworks. I don't know what's up
really?
with that.
You think so? I don't know. What do you think the odds are?
So, I mean, we were doing a cover shoot for Guitar World, me and Snake Sabo from Skid Row and Ace Frehley.
In a memorable discussion with Guitar World magazine, Dimebag unequivocally stated, "If there was no Ace Frehley, there would have been no Dimebag Darrell. Period. He was my first." It wasn't just the technical prowess, but the attitude, the swagger, and the sheer joy that Frehley exuded on stage that resonated deeply with Dimebag. He appreciated Ace's raw, unpolished energy, which stood in stark contrast to some of the more technically complex players who would emerge later. Ace's direct, no-nonsense approach to solos and his memorable riffs provided a foundational understanding of what made rock guitar compelling. The early, profound admiration for Ace Frehley undoubtedly shaped Dimebag Darrell's approach to memorable riffs and stage presence, but as he matured as a guitarist, his horizons expanded to embrace the truly revolutionary. It was the arrival of Eddie Van Halen that detonated a seismic shift in guitar playing, and Dimebag, like countless others, was profoundly affected by this explosion of innovation. Eddie Van Halen, with his groundbreaking tapping technique, dive bombs, and unique approach to harmonics redefined what was thought possible on the electric guitar when Van Halen's debut album landed in 1978. Dimebag Darrell's reverence for Eddie Van Halen was legendary and unwavering throughout his entire life. He often spoke of Eddie as the ultimate guitar god, the one who truly changed the game. In an interview with Guitar World, Dimebag once gushed, "Eddie Van Halen, to me, he's God. He literally ripped the head off of guitar playing and reinvented it. He took it to a whole new dimension." It wasn't just the flashy techniques, it was Eddie's fearless experimentation, his wild, unbridled creativity, and his ability to combine incredible technical skill with an undeniable sense of fun and showmanship. Eddie's influence can be heard subtly in Dimebag's harmonic squeals and his willingness to push the boundaries of guitar sounds. The sheer joy and innovation that Eddie brought to the instrument deeply inspired Dimebag to pursue his own unique voice and push the limits of heavy guitar. The profound admiration for Eddie Van Halen's innovative spirit and technical prowess certainly propelled Dimebag Darrell to explore his own unique guitar voice and push the limits of heavy sounds. But for the true architects of heaviness, his gaze turned to the undisputed godfather of metal, Tony Iommi. Black Sabbath, with Iommi's groundbreaking, down-tuned and menacing riffs, created a whole new sonic landscape. This was music that wasn't just heavy, it was dark, oppressive, and utterly groundbreaking. Dimebag frequently spoke of Tony Iommi with the utmost respect, acknowledging his foundational role in shaping the very sound of heavy music. In a poignant interview, Dimebag reportedly stated, "Tony Iommi is the riff master. He's the father of heavy metal. He invented the whole damn thing."
Yeah, we went in to record the album, and in the lunch break, I didn't go out to eat with the others, I just stayed at the studio and just came up with this riff, this Paranoid, and when everybody came back, I said, well, let's just put this down, so we put it down, and that was it. It wasn't intended as a single or anything, it was just another one for the album, but it did come as a single.
What captivated Dimebag was Iommi's ability to conjure an entire atmosphere with a single crushing riff. It wasn't about speed or flash, it was about immense power, ominous weight, and unforgettable hooks. Iommi's use of diminished fifths, his pioneering of downtuning to achieve a heavier, sludgier sound, and his seemingly endless supply of iconic riffs resonated deeply with Dimebag's own desire to create music that hit with undeniable force. The influence of Iommi's distinct tonal qualities and his riff-centric approach can be heard throughout Pantera's discography, particularly in the sheer brutality and memorability of Dimebag's own riff writing. However, as Dimebag continued to evolve, he also recognized the brilliance of guitarists who could blend aggression with a more refined, even classical sensibility. This led him to admire the tragically short but incredibly impactful career of Randy Rhodes, Ozzy Osbourne's brilliant and innovative guitarist. Rhodes, with his meticulous classical training infused into hard rock and heavy metal, offered a different dimension to heavy guitar playing. Dimebag held Randy Rhodes in incredibly high esteem, often citing his precision, melodicism, and unique approach to soloing. Rhodes' ability to seamlessly weave intricate, classically influenced passages with searing heavy metal riffs was a revelation. In an interview, Dimebag expressed his admiration for Rhodes' unique blend. "Randy was amazing. He just had a way of mixing those classical chops with the heaviest stuff. It was Rhodes' commitment to composition and his distinctive vibrato that particularly appealed to Dimebag. Unlike some of his contemporaries who focused solely on speed, Rhodes demonstrated that technicality could be imbued with profound musicality and emotion. While Dimebag's own solos retained a more raw, bluesy aggression, he clearly absorbed Rhodes' lesson in melodic construction and the art of crafting solos that were memorable and impactful, rather than just fast. Yet, for all his dazzling lead work, Dimebag understood the bedrock of heavy metal was the rhythm guitar. In this realm, there was one titan he particularly lauded, James Hetfield of Metallica. While Metallica carved a different path from Pantera, Hetfield's sheer power and precision as a rhythm guitarist were unparalleled, setting a benchmark for the genre. Dimebag frequently lauded Hetfield as the ultimate rhythm guitarist, the master of the downstroke, and the driving force behind Metallica's sonic onslaught. In a revealing interview where he discussed his influences, Dimebag emphatically stated, "James Hetfield, he's the god of chugging riffs. Nobody does it better rhythm-wise, nobody." What fascinated Dimebag was Hetfield's ability to create such immense, crushing power and tight, syncopated rhythm with seemingly simple, yet incredibly effective riffing. It wasn't about flash, it was about precision, consistency, and an undeniable percussive force that propelled every Metallica track.
I haven't played for a couple weeks, and my wife will say, "God, you're grumpy. Go play guitar." It's like, "Oh yeah." And I'll go and I'll play, and then, "Oh, I feel better now."
This admiration for Hetfield's rhythmic prowess directly influenced Dimebag's own meticulous approach to riff construction within Pantera. He understood that while solos might grab headlines, the backbone of a great metal song lay in its unwavering, powerful rhythmic foundation. While Hetfield represented the disciplined, sledgehammer approach to rhythm, Dimebag also held immense admiration for the raw, unadulterated energy and blues-infused simplicity of Angus Young from AC/DC. Angus, with his schoolboy uniform, frantic stage antics, and instantly recognizable Gibson SG tone, embodied the very spirit of rock and roll without pretensions. Dimebag often spoke of Angus Young with a genuine warmth and admiration, appreciating his ability to create such impactful music with a seemingly straightforward approach. In an interview, Dimebag once remarked, "Angus Young, man, he's just pure rock and roll. He doesn't complicate it, he just brings the thunder." It wasn't about intricate scales or complex shredding for Angus, it was about killer riffs, primal energy, and a distinctive stinging lead tone. Dimebag admired Angus's incredible consistency, his dedication to the blues-based rock formula, and his ability to deliver show-stopping performances night after night. Furthermore, Angus's unique vibrato and his innate feel for the blues were elements that deeply resonated with Dimebag, who himself had a strong blues foundation in his playing. The sheer infectious energy and the instantly memorable nature of AC/DC's riffs, largely driven by Angus, certainly informed Dimebag's own approach to crafting powerful, unforgettable guitar parts that made audiences move. Yet, beyond the realm of pure aggression, Dimebag also possessed a refined ear for more nuanced guitar work, particularly for clean tones and textured layering. This led him to an unexpected but deeply significant influence in Tai Taber, the guitarist for the progressive hard rock band King's X. Taber's unique blend of melodicism, intricate clean passages, and powerful yet often understated heavy riffs offered a different perspective on guitar composition. Dimebag frequently praised Tai Taber, specifically highlighting his masterful use of clean sections and his ability to craft evocative soundscapes. In an interview where he discussed the more melodic aspects of Pantera's music, Dimebag openly admitted, "Tai Taber, from King's X, man, he's just got that clean killer tone. When we did Cemetery Gates, I definitely had some Tai Taber going on in my head for those clean parts." This quote illustrates a very specific, direct influence. While Pantera was primarily known for its crushing heaviness, songs like Cemetery Gates showcased a surprising melodic depth, particularly in their clean intros and bridges. Taber's ability to create a full, rich sound with clean guitar, often utilizing chorus and delay effects, provided a blueprint for Dimebag to expand Pantera's dynamic range beyond just sheer aggression. It demonstrated that power could also come from subtlety and atmosphere. Deep within Dimebag's musical DNA lay a profound connection to his Texan roots, which meant an inherent appreciation for the blues. And when it came to Texas blues rock, few were as influential or as distinct as Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. Gibbons was a master of the riff, a purveyor of grit and swagger, and a connoisseur of tone. Dimebag frequently spoke of Billy Gibbons with immense reverence, acknowledging him as a true alchemist of sound and a quintessential Texan guitar hero. In various discussions about his influences, Dimebag would often mention Gibbons's unparalleled feel and his distinctive use of pinch harmonics, a technique that would become a signature element of Dimebag's own playing. "Billy Gibbons, man, he's just got that mojo," Dimebag reportedly said. "That nasty tone, those killer riffs. He's one of a kind." What truly resonated with Dimebag was Gibbons' ability to create such a massive sound with seemingly simple blues scales, layering them with a greasy, unmistakable tone. Gibbons' emphasis on the riff as the core of the song, his sparse but incredibly effective soloing, and his undeniable swagger all found echoes in Dimebag's own style. The connection to the blues, the focus on memorable driving riffs, and the expressive use of harmonics were all facets of Gibbons' playing that Dimebag absorbed and then extrapolated into his own heavier context. To hear about more guitar players and their heroes, just click the thumbnail on screen to keep watching.